Wuz isn't easy on the tongue, but I think he says he's happy to see a friendly face. Not too many of those around these days. Says it's good to see you again. He's Wiz. You might remember him from the old days when he let you try his octopod? Wiz remembers you were such a cheery kid, and he's glad to see that light hasn't faded from you, despite the years. But Wiz understands it was a long time ago, and memories get murkier the deeper you go, but says it helps to have friends with you to plumb those depths. They've been here for you since you were a kidling, but when you left, you also chose to distance yourself from everyone that cared for you. Wiz says our memory keeps things for us, preserves them until we are ready to face them again. He knows you've returned to face Lupa Lupin, and that confrontation is as inevitable as the tides. He's not surprised that the loss of your family could plunge you into the depths forever, but you've always been able to rise like a bubble to the surface, no matter what. He knows that though the tides of history may push you in one direction, you can always lay your own course. Ultimately, it's your choice. You were the one to be wronged and have lived with the consequences. He believes in consequence as it's a direct result of action. Asks if you ever think about freedom and whether any of us really has it. Did you make the decisions that brought you here, or are you just a pawn of fate? Glad to hear that. He only wishes he was that sure about himself. Amazed the world is going to continue on, but happy to hear it. Still so many things to invent. Impressed that you fought so hard to keep the world spinning. Thinks you were smart to join with the Myriad. They have a rainbow of ways to approach any problem. Says they're unified in the ways that matter. But that's not nearly as important as this. Wiz says that you should let the past dwell in the depths, but there's something else down there too, gnawing at the tree of life. He's named it the Merc Puff. This is why he's tinker-tonkering with the octopod. But the lid got stuck, so he needs a big enough tug twister to open it up and let you a-goin'. He can't leave the surge station, so you must help him find a tug twister. There's a wound-up mecha fingro in the mecha stadium that still has one stuck on its back. Find it, and you'll find the tug twister. It's definitely made to lend a helping hand and do the heavy lifting. Toxanol records mention it as an automaton made for moving bionucleus matter into storage areas. Don't flinch away from this. It's your moment. You need to focus. Don't want to point a finger, but the Mecha Stadium is near here. Seems like a peculiar item. Gonna need a key of some kind. Needs a key. Easy to lose your way if you can't see landmarks. You need to loosen the bolts without unsettling it. That's it. The tug twister's loose. Let's hope it turned the grabbing hand into a helping hand, too. He believed the tug twister would do the trick, but now realizes brute force won't do the trick. You need some... He agrees that it's an option if you want to break stuff, but in this case you want to keep things intact, so it won't leak once you get undersurf. He says the lid should open if you sprinkle grease it. Problem is, he's all out. He knows his old friend Choo Choo always keeps his grease sprinklers well filled. He should have an extra that you can borrow. He stresses that you should come back as soon as you've retrieved the grease sprinkler. The merc puff is crunching bark by the minute. Wants you to think of it as a black tar spritzer. The dead zone is full of that slimy black goo. It's good for fuel, but it's also slippy stuff. Keep your eyes peeled for movement. An old munch house. Imagine having hot food brought to you. That's a putty-upper plaza. Some were actually trying to build something before it all started to end. You've reached the end of the line. Bet you can find Choo-Choo here. The world is full of secrets waiting to be uncovered. Let's see. Choo-Choo knew you would make it to him one day. All you had to do was follow the steel path. The rails might be getting rusty, but eventually they all converge on him. Wonders who doesn't like rules or rails. They keep you on the straight and narrow and bring you right where you belong. Says you followed the rails to where you need to be, but tracks have switches in them too. The question is then, will you keep on the same track or look for a way to hit that switch? You seem like you're on the right track already. He just hopes you don't get sidetracked onto a darker path. Whichever way you go, he wants you to know that the rails never steer you wrong. Stick to them and they always bring you right to where you're meant to be. Wants to know if you've ever regretted taking one track in life instead of another. If you could go back, would you switch tracks or keep chugging along the one you're on? Likes your sureness, the way you keep at it like a chug-chug with no way to reverse. Seems like the world came out of its rut and is chugging toward higher ground again. Can't thank you enough for hitting the brakes and working to turn the world chug around. But let's not get derailed. Says he's surprised to see anyone this far out, but sometimes the wrong train does take you to the right station. As you can see, he didn't plan to make a stop here, but now that he had to, he's really happy to see you. He says his name is Choo-Choo. He's been off track since the world started dying, but he's trained his mind to stay positive regardless of the situation. Says sometimes life runs off the rails, but it's always better when they're good and greased. He's convinced the tracks are like the paths our lives take, and you must deal with the outcome, even if you didn't lay them yourself. This time, though, he was sidetracked and needs a new wing nut to get back on track. Wing nuts are easy to find, as they're fitted on any in-front chugger-chugger out there. The challenge is taking them off, so he's happy you're here to do it for him. Says he knew you would, like he knows the way the rails run. The sun is high. The Wingnut Chug Tunnel. It goes on forever. Keep hold of that. You'd think this place would be crawling with worms. Better hold on to that. Biohazard makes your skin crawl. One down soon. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Choo-Choo says he knew you'd come through. If someone makes a stop at your station, it's for a good reason, but he understands no one gets their tracks greased for free. He'd be happy to part with his spare grease sprinkler, as he believes it's a great fit for any of your business that needs to be unstuck. He keeps it safe in a box on the handcart, in case of emergency. It's on the cart. He wants to keep it close by. In general, you won't have much time to act in case of an emergency. Choo-Choo says you should help yourself to the grease sprinkler. It's a versatile tool from the bygone, a last of its kind, so don't let it go to waste. He's convinced you'll put it to good use, as there are lots of stuckies out there that need greasing to open. Seems glad you think so. You're on the right rail. Choo-Choo says he can't wait to get out of this place. We'll be around when you return. You shouldn't worry about smashing up the box. Choo-Choo has no use for it now. Choo-Choo says he feels strongly about helping his next, just like you did for him. He's convinced there was a bigger reason you met. Sometimes the wrong train will take you to the right place. He believes you've got what it takes to make a difference. He's witnessed it himself. Says he can't see the end of your rails, but if you grease them up good, he hopes you'll enjoy an easier ride. Choo-Choo's thrilled you found the Ark. Just imagine how much faster than a chug that thing must be, and no rails needed. Bets it could fly circles around any chug yard. Makes him dizzy to think about it. The world's on the mend, so no need to leave it. But just think of all the places the Ark could take you. Says he's happy to see the Ark in your hands. Knows you'll go great places with it and do some good. Wonders who you might call aboard the Ark with you.
So, what we have here is an opportunity to help your next. There's a seat open on the Ark should you want to offer it as a gesture of appreciation.
Why? You don't need anyone else but yourself and me, of course, but I'm a part of you, so that doesn't count.
If you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go further, go together. The only one we'd want to get away quickly from here is darkness.
But you know you can't go on without me. Even if I'm bad company, I complete you.
I think we can finally agree on something. It is better to be alone than in bad company. But best of all is being good company yourself.
After spending a life on the rails, he's eager to ride the skies with you. Just let him pack his rollerboard and he'll roll aboard. Choo-Choo says he's ready to pack up and leave. Says you'll meet again. The best stories are about heroes. This. Wiz says that there's no plan to confront the Merkpuff until the octopod is properly armed. He's happy to tell you that the cannon he's been working on now just needs ammunition. He says his old friend Boom makes all things that go bang. There's a rumor that some of Boom's pyro sticks shot off and are out there roaming free. You should keep an eye on the horizon for pyros. If you're fast, you have a shot at catching some of them before they go off. Boom has named the place Puff Duff Bluff. It sounds silly, but it's an accurate description considering most of the pyros are duds, seeing as they're as old as the old world. That's a bang plant, where toxanol used to make all sorts of splody things before it blew up in their faces. No way to avoid the wet. That looks like an unbanged pyro stick on the loose. Better catch it before it goes off. The pyro sticks will cause a bang, but targeting is on you. At least now you have a chance to hurt the Merc Puff where it counts. He hopes so, as there's no Plan B, or more correctly, Plan C. Out of Date has named this Plan B. Plan A was to take on the World Eaters by foot, or flaps in this case. Turns out swimming down there was a bad idea. Wiz has been working on another cannon, but instead of pyro sticks, it squirts guppos, scaly distractions for anyone with an appetite disorder, and irresistible for the Merc Puff in particular. Seems the best way to find guppos is go talk to Gil. He has a natural sonar and knows where the guppos sub the surf. This means you'll have to go visit Gil at Burblebottom. Find Gil and he'll be able to tell you where to find the guppos. Guppos are lively beings, and they're fast too. They're here, there and everywhere. Or at least they used to be. It's better to go forward than just keep coming back. Let's see. This is Burblebottom, residence of Gill.
A study of mine.
Happy to finally get to meet you. He's seen a lot of things wash up on his miniature shore, but nothing as exciting as you.
Totally way off furrow.
Says he loves the surf. He'd be in it all day and night if he could.
Gwan in a fee. Not to worry.
It must have been upstream only to get to this point in your histo-future. But which way are you going now? With the flow or against?
To worry. Right way to Clywood saw.
It's crazy hard to flipper against the surf, but you can't save the world if you let it sweep you away.
Turn on driver sudden.
Either way, it's a shame the surf has gotten so nasty.
Not to worry. Big enough tournament. Ray key.
Thinks life is like trying to ride a wave. You need to pick the right one, but you don't really know which one that is until you're on top of it. Better to ride a wave than let the perfect one pass you by.
Big enough tournament. Ray key.
Wonders who would want to. The right wave takes you where you want to go.
Siomage.
Can't imagine how wonderful it's going to be to surf on gooless goo. The world is going to live.
Cofintra Bidwitchen.
Can't thank you enough for fighting against the goo.
Mein Finkeforte.
Happy you ride alongside the myriad. They bring a real shine to everything they work with.
Aira.
Says they shine so bright. They glitter on the waves.
Aira.
But none of that's nearly as important as enjoying the day, right?
Mehaldi Feta.
He never drank from this pond because of the disgusting things done there.
Cymrigant of Sonsen. Pangwail Meadow.
Even the fish stopped drinking here after the pollution made the surf mucked and the air blocked his gills.
Fest and trip. I didn't know who of a serber.
He figures the Tree of Life isn't drinking either. Or, well, that's not true. He said it does drink, as it has no other choice. It's a tree, but it's forced to drink poison.
Mehaldi Fed. Fest and trip.
Claims the surf is poison now. Anything that drinks it becomes poison too, including the Tree of Life.
Totally way off furrow.
His friend Wiz needs guppos for one reason or another, and Gill is ready to point you in the right direction.
Aira.
But here, you're only going to find dead ones. He's pretty sure Wiz wants them alive. Well, at least the ones that aren't already rotting.
Yes, sir. Big enough tournament. Ray key.
If you head in the right direction, you'll find a clean enough bit of surf to snag yourself some guppos. Then you can get them to Wiz for whatever he has in mind.
Mein Finkeforte.
Figures he's always been a friend to Wiz, and now he can be one to you too. Keep those ears perked up. This is Guppy Grotto. Just a few moves left. Make them count. You can smell the must down here. Need a key. Hard to find weapons made this good. Just a few moves left. Make them count. This area is known to keep loads of secrets. That seems to be enough guppos to provide the octopod with infinite ammunition. He's surprised the Merkpuff's been able to hold its breath all this time. It's just another proof of the evolutionary change caused by Toxanol's contamination. Being undersurf has meant the Merkpuff has been left alone to munch on the root down there undisturbed. This means the northwest route has suffered more damage than the others. He's sure there's enough time to confront the Merkpuff, but he worries if the world has enough years left to last his lifetime, even if you stop the World Eaters. That was the last of them. You've sealed the fate of the tribe and the tree. It's time for the end game. You have your destiny. Follow it all the way back to Out of Date. He never told anyone about what's next, but he's sure it involves you. Just continue to stay true to yourself and respect others whatever happens. You've become their pride, the guiding light of the tribe. It's time to return to the tree one last time. He's learned you discovered and activated the last of the arcs. How exciting. That's the only word that really works for it, he's sure.
Ano parang migraggio po.
Just imagine how much more of the world you can see in the Ark, now that the world's still going to be around. You fought well for the world. You can be proud of that, no matter what.
Ano parang migraggio po.
Questions if you could possibly have any open spaces left for fellow travelers on that Ark of yours.
So, what we have here is an opportunity.
Why? You don't need anyone else but yourself and me, of course, but I'm a part of you, so that doesn't count.
If you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go further, go together. The only one we'd want to get away quickly from here is darkness.
But you know you can't go on without me. Even if I'm bad company, I complete you.
I think we can finally agree on something. It is better to be alone than in bad company. But best of all is being good company yourself.
Almost can't speak. He's so happy to be joining your voyage, to conquer the skies and everything beyond.
Mikakuma.
Wiz knows it's the same old, but he likes.
Mikakuma.
Wouldn't be surprised if you met again. I don't think you could make a home here. Out of Date says the signs of the end of the world are everywhere. It seems nature is preparing to take revenge. The day of reckoning is coming, and you are invited. He can feel you're approaching the end date. If you haven't decided whom of all like-minded, light-hearted beings you've met have earned a seat on the Ark yet, it's time to do that now. Then grasp your last chance to make sure Lupa Lupin stopped for good. The tree settled its score, but it left yours half done. He says you need to see Lupa Lupin eye to eye one last time. He's happy to help. Says you should take it easy. The Sifu is seeking revenge too. He hasn't forgotten what Lupa Lupin did, but he also wants to stop him from attacking his tribe. That the world seems to survive doesn't mean he must. He hopes you agree, even if it goes against your light-hearted nature. There's no room for predators in the world the Myriad tribe is building. But he knows this is your fight. You should handle it. Looper Lupin's own fear was his shackles, not the roots of the tree. It just changed him. You have a chance to stand back and let the tribe handle it. The Sifu is ready to step into the fray. Are the odds about to change in your favor? If a friend dies, something inside you dies. You can save the Sifu by making yourself a target. Shockwaves spread when the world crumbles. This is not a prophecy, me telling you about the future. It's you shaping it. Here's a vulgar display of power. The more he does, the stronger he becomes. It's time you remember who the real enemy is and stop playing the game his way. So, this is how it ends. The Predator and the world itself suffering. But at least it's a sign they're both still alive.
So, what we have here is a clear matter of life and death, and only you can make a difference.
That was unexpected, but welcome. The big bad predator left for dead. I wouldn't have wanted to miss this for the world.
I think the thing we're really missing here is someone with a heart and soul. The only thing we've got left are those who've lost their minds.
Heart and soul, life and death are one thread. The same line viewed from different sides. It's just that my side is so much better.
Well, anyone in their right mind can see you're lost. But you're right about the thread. Unfortunately, it's been very dark and has run throughout, taken friends, parents, and now yet another life.
We all make choices, but in the end, our choices make us. There's no peace without forgiveness. It's no better time than now to accept a helping hand. Do you wonder what turn life might have taken if you'd done things different? A left when you went right? A yes when you said no? You've walked the thin line between survival and disaster and haven't lost your balance yet. It's because of you the Tree of Life and the world has been given a second chance. You carried the light in a world full of dark and made a difference in a place that needed change. You allied with the Myriad tribe and acted on understanding of the greater good and a code of honor. However, light and dark does simply represent the polarities of life. One can't exist without the other. This isn't the end. Just being surrounded by nature as it heals itself will rejuvenate us. Nature will teach us how to survive. So, trust your conscience to show you the way, and everything else will follow. But you're not alone. You filled the Ark, and those that shared your perspective and gained your trust will accompany you on your journey. Is there a world out there that's better suited for those imbalanced in their light nature than this one? Whether or not, we'll leave your story on record, so those who come after will know you followed your light nature and saved the world. So, when all is said and done, it turned out to be an unusual ending after all. What could be better than ending the story the right way? Ending it your way, a beginning of something new.